In the face of several socio-economic issues, the time to invest in Kenya is now. These were the words of Kenya's central bank governor Patrick Njoroge as he addressed delegates at this year's Kenya-UK Trade and Investment Forum. The annual gathering, which had its maiden event in 2013, was back in London today, bringing together politicians and captains of industry with the goal of selling Kenya to potential investors.
This forum provides great opportunities for us to strengthen business ties, to explore new trade and investment prospects, and that is in line with our own economic diplomacy pillar in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's something that we take very, very seriously, and we will continue to engage with you on that.
Trade relations between Kenya and Britain span decades, with the UK currently playing the role of Kenya's largest European foreign direct investor, second only to China. There are more than 200 British investment firms in Kenya, which last year were valued at £2.5 billion. And of course, there are the exports, of which Britain also plays a key role as Kenya's second largest export destination outside the East Africa region. As a country, Kenya's outlook is positive.
On our economy, ladies and gentlemen, it was ranked as one of the highest recipients of foreign direct investments in 2015. And that was by a report of the investment monitoring platform, FDI Markets. The African Economic Outlook 2015 by the African Development Bank showed that Kenya defied challenges, both domestic and global, to attract 190 billion Kenya shillings in foreign direct investments in 2015. This was 65% higher than what the country attracted in 2014.
All of this is further backed up by ratings agencies' outlook for Kenya, most of whom have assessed the risks and found the Kenyan economy to be a stable one. Moody's rate the East African powerhouse as a B1, describing the economy as balanced with risks on either side of the spectrum. But it's also clear to note that unlike other economies in sub-Saharan Africa that are faltering under economic pressure, Kenya has continued to grow. So much so that Kenya is counted in the 5 African nations found amongst the top 30 fastest growing countries in the world.
We are at a point where we have a confluence of positive trends, 3 positive trends. And that confluence creates a sort of a perfect storm for investors. So if you wait, the perfect storm will be gone. So this is a unique opportunity.
Britain and its former colony enjoy a mutually beneficial trade relationship, but there has been a slight change in recent years. China has poured a significant amount of investment funds into helping Kenya develop its infrastructure sector, a move that has actually bumped Britain down a notch as a key FDI source for the country. The recent TICAD meeting saw Japan pledge significant investment funds as well, making it clear that Kenya is also focused on its Look East policy. It's therefore not a surprise that the UK's shock move to leave the EU a few months ago led to much speculation regarding the longevity of the relationship with Kenya and what the potential effects of Brexit will have on it. Just last week, assumed speculation led to the East African Community's trade bloc delaying the signing of a deal with the European Union.
We didn't know how Brexit would actually affect the EPAs, right? What we know now is that in the short to medium term, there will be no direct effect. Okay. First of all, because we've been trading with the UK and will continue trading, and the trade figures are encouraging. And then secondly, because 2 of the countries of the East African Community have actually taken that step of signing the EPA, right? The ESC EU EPA. And as a result, I think that act of us actually showing our commitment, right, directly, allowed the European Union then to say, okay, fine, this is the deadline that we had, which was the 1st of October, but since there's so much commitment and determination on your side, we're willing to push that backwards. And I think all the countries came forward. The UK was extremely supportive of that, and so the deadline was pushed back 4 months. So the new deadline is next year, right? Our neighbors have requested for a 3-month period during which actually they want to study the impact of Brexit on the EPA. So since now we have 4 months, I think it's something, an allowance that we can make. We can sit back and see whether during the 3 months they can address all the concerns that they may have had and put in place, as the governor said, policies to counter any concerns that they may have.
The potential effects of Brexit are being weighed by all sides, but as it stands right now, Kenya and Britain have no real reason to part ways. The UK have said they plan to double trade within the coming years, and as today's discussions highlight, Kenya is keen to keep its partnership with Britain. It's seeking investors in almost every sector and has a track record that proves that in spite of insecurity, alleged corruption and in some case vast underdevelopment, investors will always make returns.
Kenya is very much like a rose. It has a few thorns, but in the end, it grabs you.